And the accusation is that Bangladesh is sliding slowly towards an autocracy and that human rights activists face constant pressure from the authorities who follow their every move. It follows the country's general election, of course, at the start of the month, labelled by many as a ballot turned sour. The country's opposition parties boycotted that vote and only 30% of people even voted at all amid accusations of electoral fraud. Street protests escalated into violence with dozens of people hit by the police. Well, our reporters Sarabi Tandon and Mark Merry have this report from the capital, Dhaka.
Adilur Rahman has agreed to take a short walk down the street with us. For human rights activists like him, unrestricted movement in Dhaka is a rare freedom these days.
So you can see that one person is looking at me in that corner. So these are the points where generally the agency people wait and monitor Odhikar office.
Adilur was detained by Bangladeshi authorities last August and kept in custody for over 2 months. The reason for this was that his organization had angered the government by publishing a scathing report accusing the police of murdering opposition activists. The government rejected the report and now wants to convict him on the charges of spreading lies.
They wanted to give the message that don't go too far against the government. Don't do anything, write anything, campaign anything which the government do not like. And that's why they detained us.
2013 was a rough year for Bangladesh, with nearly 270 people killed in violent clashes. This unrest reached its peak last on National Election Day, when over 20 deaths were reported and hundreds of polling booths were torched. Human rights activists, conservatives and Islamists are all in opposition to the ruling Awami League government's autocratic approach. Most opposition parties also boycotted the election. The state police closely guards the headquarters of the main opposition party. The party leaders are not even allowed to enter their own offices. To interview the vice president, we visited him in his house.
If I want to call a meeting now in the street, I cannot call a meeting. They'll not allow me to have a meeting. I have to stay indoors. I have to meet other political colleagues inside their houses. I went to see the leader of the opposition 2 days ago for a meeting, and I was arrested after that. This persecution, this act of tyranny has to stop.
In such a troubled scenario, Bangladeshi journalists are also finding it increasingly difficult to do their job.
If this crisis actually continue, so we may have more violence, right? And this violence actually is contributing to increase the sense of insecurity among the people. The new phenomenon is the protesters sometimes make journalists target on the street to beat them up and to kill them.
In the absence of any other contesting candidate, the outgoing government automatically won this round of elections. Only 30% of the electorate turned up to vote, 3 times less than in 2008. The international community has also refused to lend legitimacy to this election by failing to send independent observers. But despite this standoff, no plans to conduct another election have been announced.
Let's focus today with the activists in Bangladesh. Now, Ronaldo, Messi or Ribery